To all the geeks and nerds out there, welcome back to another episode of Beyond Logic. And as you can see, there's a load of books here. And that is because I've got the hero of the village, the reward for beating the raid in our raid farm. And now these guys are throwing books at me, which is, pretty cool. So let's grab all these books and let's see what the farmer's going to give me. There's some more books here and some farmers. What are you going to give me, guys? Where's my present? Oh, you can do it. What are you going to give me? Come on, it's almost Christmas. It's time for some presents. So go. Some bread. Thank you very much. Okay, so we've got some rewards, but we are going to work on our raid farm again today. We've got a bit of stuff to do. So first of all, we need to protect ourselves a bit more because I used it last after recording. I used it again and it almost died. So we need to make sure we got our chest plate on. So we need to, I think, probably have a station for that. And also we need to get some beacons over there to give ourselves a few buffs. All right, let's get over there. And here we are approaching the raid farm. You can see it's up here. So here is the bottom of it. Here's the bottom module, and up there is the farm itself. But you can see that this is actually pretty high. So this is up at pretty much build height, and then down here, all the way down to the bottom, is about 132 blocks. So that is almost as high as the Death Star itself. So for those of you that were guessing last episode what ship we're going to encompass this in, I had a lot of really good suggestions, and I've even added some of those to my list because there were some there that I didn't have, but not a single person guessed the right one. Now, this one is a little bit obscure, so I don't blame you. But the reason I've picked the ship that I've picked here is really some constraints around the farm itself. So first of all, we can't have any blocks above the farm. So above this spawning platform, above this ice, we can't have any blocks. Otherwise, that will stop it working. And also just the size of this thing, 132 blocks. If we were to try and build, like a normal ship, like Slave 1, for example, that was quite a popular suggestion. Imagine how big it would be. It would be absolutely huge. So having Slave 1 almost the same size as the Death Star, it's not going to look so good. Not going to look so good. There were some other suggestions like the Discovery 1 from 2001, but that is long and thin, but it would then be going downwards rather than horizontal, be vertical rather than horizontal. And I don't think, although we're in space and that would make sense, there is no direction really in space. All of these ships are kind of, on the same plane facing each other. And I think if we're going to do that ship, we want to have it horizontal, I think. So that kind of ship's not going to work here either. So with those constraints, it doesn't really leave us for that many options. So we will come on to that in a bit. We'll come on to what ship we're going to build. That is coming in a minute. But let's get situated over here. We need to get some beacons down, and I want to have a nice place for my chest plate. So when we use this farm, we're not going to die. These 3 beacons are going to be our first line of defense against the farm. So we're going to get these set up. So I think I want to have resistance 2 on one of them. So I think that's a good choice. What else do we want? Let's have a look. So we probably want strength 2. Make sure we can, when we hit these mobs, as many of them die as possible. So strength, resistance, and this one we're probably going to want definitely regeneration. Can we get something else as well? Maybe speed? Or, it doesn't really matter, I suppose. Maybe speed. Speed and regeneration. Yeah, how about that? Wash. Okay, there we go. So if we look at our effects, so strength 2, resistance 2, and regeneration. So hopefully that will help. And when we've got our chest plate on as well, hopefully we should be safe now. So the other thing I'm going to do now is I'm just going to lay down some glass on top of all of these, blocks, just to make sure that nothing spawns. Obviously nothing will spawn in this top layer, but just for completeness, I'm going to do it on all of these layers, just to make sure we're all good and this doesn't affect the farm in any way. All right, let's get this done, and then we can work out what to do next. It's actually now the next day, and I've been busy. I have been a busy boy because I've got a whole bunch of stuff right here. So I've been doing some resource gathering, and these shulker boxes contain all the items we need to cover this farm right up. So first of all, I've added a little thing here for my chest plate. So nothing fancy, but this will remind me that when I come into here, I need to put my chest plate on because that's easy to forget. So that is there. Also just done some little things like added some lights, and also ender chest and a crafting table, things like that. So when we're inside here, if I need to get some bits and pieces, for crafting or whatnot, then it's all to hand. So that is all good. Now what I've also done is, as you can see, is I've put down this floor. Now this floor is black glass, and so you probably can't see it on YouTube, but yeah, this is a floor that we can now walk on, and I've lined the outside in cobblestone. And I bet you're wondering, why using cobblestone? What is this all about? Well, that is going to be part of the ship, and we'll come on to that in a minute. And in fact, we're going to need a lot of cobblestone. We're going to need all of this, and this, and this. In fact, these 7 shulker boxes full of cobble is all there, plus some other bits, and some more, and some stone, and a bunch of stuff, and more things. So there we go. There are all the bits and pieces we need to cover this farm right up. And we need to start down there. So all the way down there, I've already added a little bit of a platform. So we need to do a little bit of work down here. So we need to actually go a bit lower than this. So unfortunately, I don't really want to pillar out from a ship again to get underneath here. So instead, what I'm going to do is I'm going to use this trick with a piston. So we're going to just push some blocks down to allow us to have some blocks underneath that we can work from. So I'm going to do this. There we go. And then we can put a block down there. And then we can hop down, and then we can have a platform underneath. So I need to go a little bit lower than this, I think. So I'm going to basically going to build a floor at this level. So we're going to have a floor, actually 1 block lower than this, I think. And yeah, that's going to be the base to cover it up from the bottom. But yeah, look at that. So this is going to be good. So if we have a look at the sides of this thing, we can see from there all the way up to there. And that's the kind of the cross section of it, if you like. That's how big it's going to be. So this thing is going to be good. So this is not a traditional starship of any type, but it is a famous ship from one of my favourite movies, which is Star Trek IV: The Voyage Home. We are going to be on the lookout for some whales. Yes, we are going to be building the Cetacean probe from Star Trek IV that is trying to communicate with humpback whales. So this was when it comes to ships, this was the best ship I could think of that would actually be big enough to encompass this thing. It's supposed to be 5 miles long. Now, in most of the movie, it goes horizontal, but at the end, it kind of goes upright like this, and it has like a sphere that sticks out over here. So I'm going to stick some footage on the screen so you can see what we're talking about. So this thing is going to be basically a big cylinder. And now the cylinder itself is not very interesting. So what I'm going to try and do is use a whole bunch of block variation to try and make it as interesting as possible. So different stones, so cobble, some smooth stone, andesite, that kind of thing. I'm also going to throw in some walls, so some cobble walls and some andesite walls to try and get some kind of interest in the cylinder. But it's basically a big cylinder that's going to be 132 blocks long. So that's that. Now I've added a floor underneath the villagers. Now that's okay, that's fine. This gives us a bit, a platform to work on, and also we need to deal with the item collection and how we're going to get that out of here. So I would like to get that into the Death Star if we can, but if not, that's no problem. We'll deal with that later though. Now what I have done at the bottom here, where these villagers are now currently asleep, is I've had to add a few more glass blocks because sometimes the villager in the middle, when he wakes up, he ends up on his platform, and that's no good. He's got to stay in his cell. Now I think that's because there's a bell right next to the head of his bed, and so I don't think there's any normal blocks for him to get up on, to spawn on when he gets up. So I've filled in these blocks here, so hopefully he'll stay inside his cell now. So we'll see what happens when he wakes up. But this here is the bottom. So if I fly on underneath, you can see the blocks that we're using underneath. Oh, and I've got some scaffolding I need to get rid of. But yeah, that's the kind of fill we're going to go for. But we're going to have some walls and stuff, like I said, along the outside. So this is now a big block placing exercise. We need to just basically build this sphere up with just randomly sticking down these blocks all the way up to the very top. And once we've done that, then we'll come back down towards the bottom and we'll add that sphere that comes out at the end. So that's the plan. So this is going to take a bit of time to do, but let's get cracking. Let's get the blocks out and let's start placing. Progress is being made. So here is what we're doing so far. So what I'm doing is I'm laying down an inner cylinder of cobblestone because we've got plenty of that stuff. But the reason for that is that on the outside I'm using these walls, and they make a big hole, and I don't want to be able to see the inside of this thing from the outside. So I'm not sure if this is the best way to do things. But once I've got this cobblestone on the interior, I'm then going around and just randomly placing these other blocks just on the outside. So you can see I'm trying to use quite a lot of walls because that's going to give us the depth that we need. So let's have a little fly, see how much I've done. So I've not done loads, but hopefully enough to give you an idea. So there we go. That is the general block palette that we're going to be seeing. And yeah, as I said, it's a cylinder. It's not too interesting, but hopefully with the walls in there and obviously the block variation, quite a lot of cobblestone because that's quite textured. So hopefully that's going to look not too bad once it's done. But as you can see, we've got we've got a long way to go. A very long way to go. So it's looking all right. Now the front over here, this is where we're going to have that kind of sphere that sticks out. So I've left that gap there for the time being. We'll come back to that and do that once we finish the sphere off. And then after the sphere is done, or not the sphere, after the cylinder is done, should I say, then we're going to be working on the item collection and that kind of stuff afterwards. But time is ticking, so I think it's time to roll the music and yeah, trying to get this thing done as quickly as we can. Behold, we have a huge cylinder that goes all the way up and all the way down. So that was quite a few hours of placing blocks, about 5 hours in fact. So let's take a look at this thing from the outside and see what it looks like. So we're going to fly away and then a big turn around. Badosh! There we go. So there's my huge cylinder. So I think it looks all right. You know, I mean, I guess it's as good as it can be. I tried to put in as much detail as I can, you know, with the variation and whatnot, as we spoke about before. But yeah, not too bad. So the next thing to do is to do the sphere at the very front. So it's going to come out just down there. So I've left a little bit of a gap there to do some bits and pieces. So we'll do that next. And yeah, it's going to look good. Then we're going to deal with the items. Now, I'm not sure what to do with the items. Originally, I was thinking of maybe having another water stream and feed them into the Death Star. But now I'm not sure if we need to do that because we're going to be in the raid farm using it. And it might be easier just to have like shotgun box loaders and pick up the items from there. So I'll think about that in a minute. But yeah, this is looking good. So let me get the other bits and pieces and then we can make a start on the sphere at the front. And so I'm making a start on the sphere and this kind of beam that comes out towards it. So we're right down here at the bottom and this is supposed to be the hole that it comes out of. And yeah, this is the beam. So I'm trying to use this combination of sea lanterns and glass, trying to add you know, a bit of detail here, sort of make it kind of interesting. So hopefully these panes are going to work out. And then over here, this is the sphere itself. So again, this is kind of lit up. So using the sea lanterns for that and then surround it in blue glass because it's more bluey in colour. So that's going to be all right, I think. So yeah, just go around this thing with blue glass and then also these light blue panes here and there. Again, trying to give a bit more detail to it and yeah, hopefully making it as interesting as possible. So this is going pretty well. Now I've just come back from watching Star Wars. I'll say just come back. I came back last night. It's now the morning, and yeah, I'm not going to spoil anything, but I just want to put it out there that I've seen it. And yeah, I have thoughts, but I'm not going to spoil anything or say anything about it. It's better than the last one, I'll put it that way. But yeah, if you're a Star Wars fan, definitely go and see it. And then at some point, we might even have a special channel in Discord to talk about it for those that have seen it. We've done it before with other films, so hopefully we'll do that again for this one. And then we can yeah discuss the merits of J.J. Abrams' version of this version of the trilogy. So. All right, I'm going to carry on with this, and that's in the wrong place. That's got to be there, I think. Right, so I need to do a bit more of this. But yeah, let me carry on with this sphere, and yeah, once it's done, we can have a good look, and then work out what we're going to do with the items. All right, just coming out of the storage room, I've tied up my stuff and got organised, cleared away all the bits and pieces that we don't need anymore. And so let's go and have a look at this thing and see how it looks. So there we are. There is the probe, the whale probe, after some humpbacks. So yeah, doesn't look too bad. Obviously, it's not the most inspiring ship compared to some of the others, but yeah, we've got our constraints, and so we're trying to operate within those. But yeah, I think that looks all right, pretty good. So let's head on up, and now we need to work out what we're going to do with the items that come out of this thing, out of this raid farm. So you get quite a lot of items, but I'm just wondering how many of them are actually useful. So I've just added this little glass walkway underneath so we can get to the items. Now I have already cleared out a few of these things, mainly just the emeralds and the totems of undying. Now if we look at the things that are left over, not all that interesting, I don't think, at this stage of the game. We do get redstone, so I probably want to keep the redstone because we obviously get witches in here. Now the other stuff like the axes, the crossbows, I might just look at what we've got here and maybe just make a really good crossbow out of all of these and then get rid of the rest. But yeah, the banners, saddles, bottles, that kind of stuff, I don't think it's that interesting. So I think what I'm probably going to do is I'm probably going to keep the redstone, the totems of undying and the emeralds. So those three items I think are the ones we want to keep, I think. So yeah, we'll do that. So I think what I'm going to probably do is get those into shulker box loaders under here, and then get them going into a chest to start with, and then we'll see where we are once we've got that. So yeah, I think shulker box loaders for those three items is the way to go. So, and then we've got options then. Either we can have them down there as storage where we can go down and just collect them as we need them, and then obviously go back to the Death Star, or we can get them to go down, fall into a water stream at the bottom there, and then it can then link up with the ones we've already got. So I was thinking that we could have a water stream that comes out of the bottom and then goes this way and then connects up with this water stream we already have that collects items that come out of the Falcon from the overworld. So then all of our shulker boxes go into the Death Star and get routed that way. Not sure if I want to do that or not yet. Just considering it at the moment, but that is an option for sure. All right, so let's get the redstone out and let's get these shulker box loaders in place. I've added some more redstone, but we're not done yet. So let me tell you what I've been up to. So I've had a slight change of heart. I think what I'm actually going to do is I've added a shulker box loader down there and an item filter just for emeralds. So the emeralds are going to go into shulker boxes and we'll collect those. And I'm thinking that everything else is going to go along this hopper line right here and into a whole bunch of double chests. And then we can just sort through that stuff manually, because there's a load of stuff in there that's not easily sortable. So it's lots of non-stackable items. So we've got all the tools that come in, the axes, the crossbows. We'll get mob heads out of here as well. Obviously, totems undying, that kind of stuff. We can't really sort that very easily. So I think the best thing for that is just have a whole bunch of double chests for all the other stuff to go in. Then I'll have a little platform underneath, which I've kind of started for the other bits and pieces. But if there's some chests maybe over here somewhere that I can just go through manually, pick out the things that I want, and then have a button down here that I can press, and then all the items that are left over in these chests then get shot out into the void, and then it's all empty for the next run. And then obviously we can go down there and collect the shulker boxes from our loader just down here. So I need to do a proper walkway. But yeah, that's where it's going to end up, just in there. So I think that's probably the most practical way to do it. And if we do that way, there is a manual step here anyway, so probably not worth connecting this up to the Death Star, I don't think. And also because the emeralds that we get out of this, we want to go into our trading hall anyway, not into the main storage. So I think that probably feels like the right way to do things. So yeah, so next thing is to add the whole bunch of chests, and obviously then a little mechanism to delete all of those out into the void. So we'll have a dropper that points out maybe out of the wall that way and goes out into space. So that's the next thing. So let me work on that, and then yeah, we'll give this thing a test. Many chests later, and I think this is the final setup. I think this is going to work for us, at least to start with, and then we'll just see how it goes. Right, we're going to try it out, and if it's too painful, we'll work out another solution. But I think for now, it's going to be good. So yeah, as I said, all the other items. So the emeralds go into the shulker box just down there. All the other items go along here, and then fill up all of those chests just like that. And then we can go down this ladder just here. I've got rid of the other walkway we had here because that wasn't really useful, but instead now we've got access to all of the chests. We can go up this scaffolding to make sure we can get hold of every chest along the way. We can check them all out, make sure there's anything interesting, pick out the stuff that we need, and then once that's happened, we can then flip this lever, which will unlock this hopper right here, which then all the items will then get sucked out of there, and it will go along a hopper line just behind there, and we'll also, the same lever will also activate this observer clock, which will then dispense all the items, because all of those the items there go into a dropper which is just in the wall there and get spat out into space. So let's just let's try that out actually. So I've got a bunch of netherrack that we don't really need, so let's stick a bunch in there, and let's say we've gone through our items, we've checked all the ones we want. Now obviously these are staying here, they're not going away because that hopper is locked, but now if we flip that, we can hear the hopper going, we can see these items disappearing. So now if you fly outside super quick, hopefully we'll see them coming out of the side. Okay, so just flying out, and if we go, there we go, look, there they are. So that is the that's the trash coming out of the there it is, awesome. So all the items we don't want will end up falling down here into the void and be deleted for the rest of eternity. So there we go, pretty cool stuff. Right, so I guess now the last thing to do for this at least is to give it an actual full test and make sure we survive now that we've added our protection measures, and now we can deal with the items in a better way. So yeah, this is going to be pretty cool. So let's give this a test and see how many emeralds we can get, and yeah, see if we can get an actual shulker box totally filled up. And it's now time to get ourselves bad omen. So here is the nearest outpost. So let's fly in here, which we haven't done yet, and let's see. We're looking for a captain, but let's see if there's anything interesting in here. Not really. Piercing 2. Okay, I'll tell you what, I'll leave this. I don't think we need it. But what we do need is a captain, and we need to have a look out for one. So where is one? It's the other guys, but where are the other? Where's the captain? Okay, we might have to wait around. Maybe kill some of these guys in the meantime. Yeah, there's a captain. There he is. Right, let's go down. Let's meet him face to face in armed combat. Hiya! Hiya! And one more hit maybe. Yes, you're dead. And I've got the bad omen. And you can get it as well, just for good luck. And you too. Goodbye. There is the probe, and we have bad omen. We're on the Falcon at the moment, so we need to remember, this is the one thing I need to remember, is that we need to enter this enter the entrance from above, not from below, because that will trigger the raid in possibly the wrong position. So I think I'm going to go out this way. Make sure I go high enough, right up here I think. Okay, that should be good. And now we need to just gently float down, and I've got a little hole at the back there, so hopefully we can just enter in here. Fingers crossed. Oh, not too bad, not too bad. And we haven't triggered the raid yet, so that is good news. Right, so let's take our elytra off, I think. Yeah, let's just take it off here. Oh, it's almost dead as well. Let's grab that. Let's put that on. Get our sword ready. Hop in here. The raid has started. We can lock ourselves in with this. And let's see if this thing works. I've heard the horn. We're just waiting for the mobs to start dropping down. They're held in the pen for a little bit. So, but yeah, as we do this, some good news. Well, some good news and some bad news. The good news is that 1.15.1 is now out. We're not going to do that this episode. We're almost at the end, so we'll do that next time around and see what our world is like in 1.15, and maybe go on a look out for some bees, that kind of stuff. But on the downside, that means that the couple of mods that we use, we're going to have to wait for them to be updated. So first of all, Optifine. Hiya! Optifine is the first thing. That is not currently updated. That's going to take a little bit of time for that to happen. So that's all good. But we've got to wait for that. Now, the main thing I use for that is the zoom key. But we'll come back to that in a second. The other thing is replay mod. I've heard that the current developers are probably not going to be updating it, which is really bad news because I use that mod a lot and it's really useful. But I'm hoping some other developers will pick that up. It is open source, so fingers crossed some other developers will pick it up. And on the subject of modding, some of you know I'm a software developer. I don't really do anything in Java, but I've started doing some mods. So I've got one in the works. So it's very simple to get started, but this may be something that we can do a bit more often. And yeah, it could be like a simple quality of life kind of mods, I'm thinking, just to get the ball rolling rather than something super complicated. So I've got 2 mods in mind to start with. The first one is concrete slabs and stairs, which I'm working on, and that's going well. I've got that stuff working. And the other one is a zoom key. So if Optifine isn't working, at least we can get a zoom key and get that working in the meantime. So that's going to be good. And yeah, I'm going to chop these guys up. So hopefully, yeah, this is going to work out. So we haven't taken any damage yet, which is good. That's a good sign. And then, yeah, I want to make sure our storage system's working as well. So I'm going to sit here for a little bit, chop away at these guys, and then we can see our spoils at the end. This thing is still working a treat. Here comes some more mobs, and yeah, I've been chopping away for a little bit, not too long, because I actually need to finish up because I'm going to Berlin, going to Germany for a few days over the holidays, and I need to get packing. So This is going to be the last wave of these guys, and so far I haven't been hit at all, not once. So I think probably the strength is helping, kill as many of these mobs in one go as we can. More waves are coming, but let's go check out our loot. And you can see I've been repairing my tools with the XP at the same time. So let's check this out. So we need to, let's just quickly break this glass so we can see what's inside this shulker box. Let's get rid of that quickly and just break that for the minute. And oh, not too bad. Okay, so I haven't actually been doing it for that long, maybe 10 minutes. So that is pretty cool. And in terms of the items, there, look at this. We've got loads. So we've got plenty of mob heads. If anyone wants those in the Hall of Fame, obviously loads of Tones of Undying. Yeah, not too bad. Okay, so just 2 chests in 10 minutes, so not too bad. So I think we've probably got enough there to keep us going. But yeah, this is pretty cool. And I'm not going to do this right now, or should I? Do we care about this stuff? Maybe I'll take the mob heads. I've already got a choker box full of totems of Undying. I can't even speak. Right, so let's do this, and let's go outside and see these things flying out. I've just remembered to put my wings back on because that was almost a disaster. But if we go back round, and then there we go. Let's see, is there items coming out? Yes, there is. There we go. There's some bottles. Yeah, awesome. All right, good stuff. Yeah, some Totes of Undying coming out. Nice. All right, very good. Very good indeed. All right, so this thing is working. Very good. All right, this is a success. Very happy how this has turned out. So there is our raid farm in the end. That is complete. And yeah, I'll do some more raiding in there and get a whole bunch of emeralds as we go on. But that is about it for the end of the episode. So I hope you enjoyed it. And if you did, then please hit the like button. And if you're new, then feel free to subscribe. And if you've got any comments or suggestions, then get it in that comment section. All right, my geeks, until next time, I will see you later.